My God. Evil has never looked this sexy. Oh my God, season 2 review. Oh baby, let's go. Yo, what's up guys? The Insane Game Freak here to bring you All My God season 2 review. This also, I need to apologize to the All My Goddess fans because Jesus Christ, I did not realize there was a big ass following behind this fucking series and how long this series has been around. This series has been around since the 1990s, if not 1980s. Just to give you a quick background history on it. First off, we're reviewing Flights of Fantasy, but just to make up for what I should have said in the first season review, I'm gonna talk about a few things. Apparently, Oh My Goddess has had an OVA. It's had two different series. You had, the TV series, and then they had another series called The Adventures of Mini Goddess, which is 50 fucking episodes I've never seen, but wow. Has a fucking movie, which I don't understand how you could have a movie with this kind of premise, but then again, it's, I've never read the manga. The manga, I believe, is currently ongoing and has like 40-something volumes. And there's another fucking OVA coming out for the fucking series this year. And not to mention the fucking, 2 seasons of the anime, which equals up to be about 50 episodes as well. So this thing has, like, OVAs, secondary series, TV series, a fucking movie, and another OVA coming out. What the fuck? I can see that there's a dedicated fan base behind this shit. And I'm sorry I did not mention that the first season, but so apparently Oh My God, this is actually an old school harem. So I apologize for that. And now let's get on to the review. Okay, so season 2, the best way to explain season 2 is that season 2 is literally just more of the same. Like, season 1 was Keiichi and Belldandy, in their road to becoming like a true couple. Season 2 is just a continuation of that, except it's more about serious stuff, like, the love, which I figured all of this was addressed, but apparently it wasn't. Like the I love yous, the actually acknowledging each other as like boyfriend and girlfriend and shit, trying to do boyfriend and girlfriend things, and just and dealing with each other's hurdles. Now, I will honestly say season 2 is probably better because of how much more stuff they throw at you. But the problem with season 2 that you would only experience while watching season 1 is that Belldandy and Keiichi themselves, mainly Belldandy, gets kind of jarring at points in the season. And to explain what I mean by that, okay, you guys remember from my first review when I said I fell in love with Belldandy? It's the reasoning why you like her as a character is because she is so nice and she's so kind and she's so innocent, she's so fucking pure, and it's actually refreshing to see that, because in today's society, you meeting a refreshing, nice, kind person, male or female, is rare in itself. Obviously she's a goddess and a fucking anime character, so yeah, you free range with that, but you see what I'm saying. That was her appeal. If you watched 26 episodes of her, it stops being refreshing and just becomes a part of the norm. So in the second season, when I keep seeing that with her, it's just like, that's nice. Like, you kind of fall out of it. Now, luckily, they balanced the season out by adding in new characters, but honestly, I'm going to go ahead and say it right now. Remember how I said this was a harem? That's bullshit. If this is a harem, this is like the bare bones minimum of a harem, because it's not even a harem, it's just a love story with just obstacles thrown in the couple's way. And, I realized one thing about harem aspects I really like. I really like the whole interaction of different girls. And this series still has that, but it really doesn't mean much because no other girl is going to get with Keiichi. It's just not going to happen. Also, if you don't like Keiichi and Belldandy and you haven't seen the first season, actually the first season, the shit with Belldandy and Keiichi will come off kind of annoying because you don't understand the premise behind it. So I would say watch the first season before watching the second season. Duh. But it's not a bad season. Like I see the pros and cons of it. And the main thing I really like about the season is the addition of certain characters and certain side stories. Like, in the course of this season, we get a boyfriend for Erd, even though we had like that one for also one other tidbit about the first season I could mention. Those last 2 episodes where Erd and Skull switch ages. Those are OVAs. they're still part of the first season, but they're fucking OVAs, which makes perfect sense because that was a horrible ending. Those 2 episodes would have been horrible endings for that first season if I didn't know they were OVAs. So I was actually happy about that. But anyways, we actually get to see Erd's ex-boyfriend. Skull gets another crush. We also get to see her angel finally. There's kind of a sad point with that, but I'm not going to tell you what that is. We get to see Erd's mother. We get to see other angels. And we get to see weird shit. We get to see more emotional shit. Like, I'll put it this way. As I said, Belldandy kind of gets jarring at the beginning. But for whatever reason, as much as I was just like, oh, whatever, let's get past the bullshit with Belldandy and Keiichi at the beginning of the series, by the end of the series, when they refocused on them again, I don't know why, but it was enjoyable as shit. I enjoyed it. Mainly because it was addressing other issues that they had. Because the thing with Belldandy is that Belldandy, it's kind of hard to fuck with her as a character because she's not realistic on any level. The most realistic you can get to Belldandy is a fucking child. Like, literally, like a fucking child. Because she kind of has that, like, pure, idealistic mindset where she'll think everything will turn out okay. She's very fucking optimistic. She's very nice. She's very sweet. She's very kind. Like a fucking 5-year-old little girl who doesn't know what sex is yet. That's a horrible analogy, but you get what I mean. She's not relatable, but the couple situations they put them in is. And I feel like I've said this before. All My Goddess is one of those series I bet you would be so much better if you were in a couple. Because for me, a single guy watching that, I liked it, but I can see people probably would I probably would have enjoyed the series a whole bunch more if I could have had the same. Because the series kind of sparks questions that you and your girlfriend or your boyfriend could talk about, honestly. It looks like I thought of a few ideas. I mean, you know, how far would you go for your loved ones? Do you think you are the best thing for your loved ones? Are you making sure the relationship is equal? And do you feel like you're good enough for her or him? Whatever. You know, I feel like you can't really achieve what All My Guys is trying to do unless you're dating, honestly. And, you know, that's not saying, and as a single guy, I'm telling you, it's still enjoyable regardless if you're single male. Also, if you don't like fucking romance, which, if you've heard me talk about the first season, you should have already known, yeah, this is a heavy-ass romance. Almost everything in the series, about everything in the series has to do with romance. Now, I'm going to actually talk about the 2 new characters that are in this season. Peorth and Hild. Was it Hild? Yeah, Lady Hild. The girl I showed you at the beginning of this video, that's Lady Hild. That's Erd's mother. And that is Satan. It's fucking anime. Don't question it. Don't listen. It's anime. Don't fucking question it. Don't question it. And Peorth is the girl you're probably going to see on the thumbnail with Belldandy. And she is a fellow goddess. Now, what sucks is Peorth is technically a secondary love interest, but what really pisses me off is that she comes off as like a less annoying Sayoko, but like more of a purpose. And she's gonna annoy you at the beginning, but when they finally flush her out, and you know what, I'm gonna just say it right now, she's only in like 7 damn episodes. She's in like about 7 or 6. She's in like a fourth of the fucking series. It's kind of depressing because by the time you see her leave, it kind of makes you mad because you liked her as a character, and that's how I was. Like, I love Peorth. Peorth was cool as shit to me. She's actually become one of my favorites. So is Erd. Skull gets less annoying for people who want to know. Skull gets less annoying. Erd becomes even more likable. Peorth is likable. Erd's mother, I'm on the fence. She's alright. You know, she's Satan, so obviously I'm not gonna be like, I love Satan, yeah, woo! But yeah, she's alright. For anyone who doesn't like, what's his name? Psycho or Mara? No need for this. Psycho, well, Mara's in here still pretty often. Psycho's only in here like in the beginning, so if you're not a fan of Psycho, you don't have to deal with her that much in the season. Neither is Mr. Moneybags, which is what I call the dude that has like almost the same kind of fucked up mentality that she does and is rich and shit and acts like a douchebag. He's not really in, he's actually in here less than she is, which is pretty sad because because Psycho isn't in here that much. She's like in the beginning episodes, you better like her then, because you're not gonna really deal with her that much. But you know, payoff. But going back to the characters, Hild is Erd's mother, which goes into a little mini plot line that takes up like 5 or 6 episodes, which is actually pretty enjoyable and actually pretty funny because you're gonna see Erd with multiple personalities. I'm not gonna explain that, but it was pretty funny. You also get to see Hild actually cause real problems and, you know, deal with real development in the relationship with, you know, Belldandy and Keiichi for many reasons. Peorth, I guess I should explain this one much. I'll explain Peorth to you. Peorth is essentially down there because Keiichi ends up accidentally calling the God's hotline again. So Peorth shows up and now has to grant him his deepest desire. And this is where I figured they were going to throw in the harem. All I'm going to say, I'm not going to tell you what happens, but let's just put it this way. It kind of does, but it doesn't, because by the end of it, you think it's kind of obvious that she likes him, like legitimately likes him, but it's like she just gave up and let Belldandy have him. I'm not going to tell you how we get to that point, because it's really ambiguous, but that's essentially what it is. And that's what and the same thing with Psycho, like the episode they actually dedicated to Psycho kind of developed her character, and then they just said, fuck it. Like, this is the one thing I hate about this series, is that it strays a lot away from typical harem shit, but then again, this is probably the basis of the harem shit. Like, this is probably one of the things that set the genre. So, I guess technically, that's just something I didn't like about the old school stuff. But I will say the one thing I do truly like about this, and I wish more harems would do, is the true romance aspect. I don't think you should be as fucking off the wall and ridiculous as All My Guys is in terms of relationship. Like, they spent, like, I've never seen a series that has actually spent like 50 episodes going through the paces of an actual relationship. Even though this is a really unrealistic relationship, they spent 50 episodes on this fucking relationship. By the end of it, if you hate Belldandy and Keiichi, by the end of this series, I don't know what to say to you. Like, I really don't. Like, there's something relatable in them, period. Even if it's very minuscule, you're going to click with something. And if you don't click with them as characters, you'll click with some of the situations because they're relatable to real life situations. But I think I have rambled on enough. Oh My God, Season 2 was actually pretty enjoyable. There's a lot of high points and there's a lot of low points. There's a lot of what the fuck is going on points. Like, I don't know, the mini motherfucking ninja episode. Yeah, I'm not. That episode was retarded, and the fact that it leads into something else was even more retarded. But Jesus Christ, what the fuck? Like, I'm sorry. Like, let me just real quick. Mini fucking ninjas. When you get to that episode, you're just gonna be like, what the fuck? Because it's such a what the fuck episode. And what happens at the end of it is just ridiculous. Like, what carries over into the next episode to me was just retarded. Jesus fucking Christ. But, you know, there are other characters I could mention, but, you know, I think that's the fun of watching the season. Oh, and the last thing I'll say before I go, this is one of the most complex fucking dubs I've seen in my life. And let me explain what I mean by that. I heard voice actors from like 3 or 4 different companies. If you're a fan of Iris from Best Wishes or Black and White in America, and a fan of Veronica fucking Taylor, if I think, you know what, Ash, real Ash, not the bullshit one, not the one we've been dealing with since Deep Diamond and Pearl. I'm talking about the real motherfucking Ash. Both of their voices are in here. Actually, I found out something trippy. Iris's voice is Belldandy's voice. And after you watch All My Guys and you find that out, you're just like, oh shit. It's the same fucking voice. Oh, also, for anyone who's a Dan Green fan, he's in here. There's a lot of weird motherfuckers in here. There's 4 kids voice actors, obviously, I've mentioned that. There are Funimation voice actors in here, and there are Anime Works, Media Blasters kind of voice actors in here. And Jesus goddamn Christ, that is one crazy cast, but you know what, I still love that fucking dub. I like that dub. Belldandy's voice is fucking goddess. And I love Peorth. I might be a little bit of a Peorth fan, but I don't know. Like, they're actually tied. Belldandy, Peorth, and Erd are like my 3 faves. Skull is like, it's just become normality now. Like, she doesn't get on my nerves anymore. She's just okay. But you know, we get development for your fellow angels and goddesses and shit. You get some interesting tidbits for the devils and whatnot. Mara is a little less annoying in this season. Not by much, but she is a little less annoying. And that just probably has something to do with Earth's mother, but that's besides the point. But I think I've dragged this on for too long, so I say, oh my god, season 2 is a pretty good. I mean, the Save Edition just came out, and I would totally buy it at that point. Like, that's why, one of the reasons why I bought it now is because of the Save Edition. The Viridian Collection is like fucking $40. So just get the Save Edition, reversible cover, good fucking season. And if you haven't watched the first season, go watch the first season. I know this is pretty late in the video, but I'm editing the first season review before you watch this, because shit carries over. Well, not much, but some shit does carry over. And the whole premise is just enjoyable as hell in the first season. But that's besides the point. So, you know, like and favorite and comment if you want. These are optionary. I want to reiterate this, optionary. Video responses have always been welcome. Info in the doobly-doo. Yeah, I can't. It sounds weird. I know Dan Brown would say that. I can't fucking say that, doobly-doo. Is in the underbot, wunderbot? No, that's even worse. It's down there. And then that'll move and it'll be up here and be like, fuck! Anyways, you know, I'm just kind of rambling at this point. So, life's a game, play to win, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace. I wish I could have a goddess like you in my life. All for the ladies. All 2 of you. See you later, guys.